most of you probably know, Concerning War is a project we worked on at BUC for a long time. A project that at the end consisted of two parts: exhibition Soft Target, War as a Daily First-Hand Reality, curated by Brigitte van der Sande, of which this is the last weekend. So for those who didn't manage to see yet, I would like to invite you, and actually at this point encourage you to go and see. Tomorrow is the last day. And a series of talks titled Undercurrents. This is the last session in the series that we titled on imagining. And we wanted to look at the possibilities of art and strategies of resistance. As you know, we set up this project out of the urgency or belief that there is something in what a number of intellectual voices recently have been telling us, that those incidents of violence around the world are not separated happenings, but they are all interconnected into new type of warfare, something that we still need to recognize as potentially a new planetary condition. And as has been said a number of times, we as artists and intellectuals take certain responsibilities in the process of recognizing it and imagining what the alternatives in a positive sense could potentially be. We had 5 sessions, I believe, so far. Exciting, long sessions with immense discussions. I recognize a number of faces in the audience that lived through these talks together with us. Those of you who returned a number of times to BUC will have a slight advantage, because what we want to do today is to look back at those 6 sessions and specifically focus on the question that we were posing insistently each time. And those who were here remember that each time it's, that particular question caused sometimes really immense irritation. The question I was posing all the time was, what is it that we artists and intellectuals can do vis-à-vis such a charged political subject as war, vis-à-vis serious political developments in the world? Now, a number of speakers or people in the audience would think that's a cheap activist statement. What is it that we do? Some thought there is no we. There's nothing that artists and intellectuals could possibly do together. And yet the whole session today is dedicated exactly to that question. Some of you that read the text in the guidebook will recognize the quote that I would like to quote for you again, and it's a quote from Notre Musique by Jean-Luc Godard, the film that is presented in the exhibition. A diplomat asks a writer in this film, do writers know what they are talking about? Of course not, says the writer, and he continues stating conversely, those who act never have the ability to say or think adequately about what they do. The quote continues, and I think it's important to add this sentence to give an answer, or a kind of answer, to the question, what is it that we artists and intellectuals can potentially do vis-à-vis this kind of new planetary condition, if the hypothesis of the new planetary condition being in a new type of warfare is true. And that's the statement that Godard makes himself. As our age has endless destructive force, it now needs a revolution of a comparable creative force that reinforces memory, clarifies dreams, and gives substance to image. That was one of the reasons why we titled this session on imagining. Now we have wonderful guests this afternoon, although I have to announce that there is flu in the lowlands, and 2 guests called off yesterday late. So we're not going to listen to Mika Bal, neither to Dieter Lesage. Nonetheless, we have wonderful speakers and 2 guests who are willing to step in at the last moment. Sagi Grona, who is an artist in the exhibition and who is not yet here, but he has another commitment this afternoon, but he'll come on time to speak as the last one. And Zoran Terzic, a culture theorist who is based in Berlin. I just understood he agreed at 1:00 a.m. today and flew in from Berlin. He's a culture theorist who is specializing on the subject of war and art, so we're all curious to hear. And of course, Benda Hofmeijer, who's going to speak as first philosopher, who is a researcher in the theory department at Jan van Eyck Academy in Maastricht, and curator Lars Bang Larsen, who works as a curator and art critic, I believe, since a couple of weeks based in Frankfurt. Is that true? Curated exhibitions that were crucial for discussing these issues. Populism, that was also recently to see in Stedelijk Museum and other locations throughout Europe. And Fundamentalisms of New Order in 2002 in Charlottenburg in Copenhagen. A bit of practical information for this afternoon. Benda will speak as first. After that, Lars will make his presentation. After that, Zoran, and Sagi comes as last. What we usually did, throughout the series of Undercurrents, somewhere in the middle we would build in a break for a drink, because usually these talks take reasonably long. And after all four presentations, we'll call all our guests to join at the table and try to open a forum for discussion. Thank you again, everybody, for coming, and I offer the floor to Benda Hofmeijer.
Thank you, Maria.